All systems go. Clear for liftoff.
Good afternoon. We are back. We are live. Charles Schwab challenge. I already know that I'm going to speak too fast and absolutely butcher the Charles Schwab. It's just that thing that doesn't roll off the tongue smoothly. And every year, I've been doing this for a few years now, this event just gets me. It's like the week we have to spell Murrayfield Village all week on Twitter. So that's next week. I'm going to spell that wrong all week. It doesn't make sense at all. But we're here, leg 2 of the Texas two-step in May. Going to go through some stats, some data, some players, some DFS, some fantasy. You guys know the deal. So first look show, as always with this, when I don't have my full setup on me, if the volume happens to cut out, please leave a comment. It's only happened once, but I want to make sure I'm on top of it and I'm not talking with no volume. So let me know. Let's bring up this screen. Let's go through the Twitter thread like we always do. So bang, let's get to it. Here is the Charles Schwab challenge. We have a did I have the course notes in here? Oh yeah, par 70, 7,200 yards, just under 7,300 yards. Here we're going to talk about some incoming spike form, what the guys were doing, what they did at Colonial, how they won at Colonial. Over the last 7 winners, basically every single golfer spiked on approach, spiked with a putter, like gaining 6 strokes in each category. Ben Griffin last year, he did not gain a ton of strokes on approach. He was kind of all green and leaned on the putter more than anything. So, but all in all, it's basically spike putting and spike approach playing, not rocket science. We've seen this golf course a ton of times. So elite irons, elite putting. Here's some information on what the golfers did coming into the event. So looking at their last 10 starts before they won at Colonial, let me make sure the volume is all good. I see no comments. All right, let's get back to it. Looking at what these golfers did coming in. So Sam Burns, before he won this event, spiked with the putter 4 times, spiked with the irons 3 times. What we're looking for in terms of spike is gaining 4 strokes or more in a given week. So he also spiked with distance and once with accuracy. Berger, very, very similar. 3 approach spikes, 3 distance spikes, 3 putting spikes. Jason Kokrak, very, very similar. We're looking at for the approach spiking and the putting spiking coming in. So balanced driver, slight distance lean, spike approach upside, elite putting upside. It's not a very, very difficult handicap, but when we're looking at some of the recent winners, Grillo, Davis Riley, Ben Griffin, Grillo had no putting spikes, was all approach. Same thing with Davis Riley. And then Ben Griffin was back to that balanced build. So it's a little bit different, but the ethos and what we're looking for is fairly the same. It's just a lot of approach spikes leading into this week. In terms of the driver, we saw some different things. Grillo only spiked on distance once, whereas the other guys spiked 5 and 3 times. And even Kokrak and Burns, they spiked in distance a lot more than they did in accuracy. And it's pretty much a balanced driving spike build, but we're seeing a little edge to distance. And I'm going to talk about the weather in the next slide, but I think that's going to be the case again this year in terms of what we want to look at. So, like I said, approach and putting, it's not rocket science. We've seen this golf course a ton of times. The next thing I want to do is look at some of the course history. Outside of Ben Griffin, we saw and Daniel Berger, we saw some really nice prior course history before their win. You could see Davis Riley, Emiliano Grillo, Jason Kokrak, Kevin Na, Kevin Kisner, Jay Rose, all had a nice finish before they won at Colonial. And looking at some, what is this here? Oh, yeah, this is what they did at the golf course before they won. They had a serious spike week before they won. So these are just little trends that you could put into your model and they could really spit out some good information. And let's also look at some comp course history. Innisbrook, Riley had a second place. Burns won twice. Kokrak with the second place. Berger T11. Kevin Na second. Rose T5. That's really strong comp course history before they have won. Harbortown, Look at this course history, comp course history. It's not right. It's not rocket science. Like, these are really solid data points looking at these golf courses, PGA National, all these top 10s before they won. So at Murrayfield Village, this is I think it's the Bentgrass connection. I don't really think it's the same tee to green test, but the comp course history before they won is really, really telling, as well as Pebble Beach. So looking at the comp course history, looking at the prior starts, looking at the incoming spike, approach form, incoming spike, putting form, it is pretty telling on what we are looking for this week. I know it might be a lot, but there's some key data points that you could look at leading into this week, leading into this golf tournament, that makes it not the hardest handicap, but you can lead yourself onto 10 really solid names, and hopefully we can get to some of those names later in this show. So next thing I want to do is look at some winning scores over the last few years, as well as the weather this week. The weather is surely something this week. So here is some of the winning scores. BG won at 12, Davis Riley 14, and we saw Griot at 8, Burns at 9, 14, 15, 13, and then Rosie 20 under, back all the way back in 2018. Now, this is a golf course that really stands the test of time. It is by no means long. It is by no means a new test that these guys haven't seen. I know there was a renovation, like 2 years ago now, a year and a half ago, but it's a golf course that they've seen so many times, and it's still, it really makes these challenges, these golfers, with all the dog legs, all of the similar to kind of like a harbor town. You really have to hit your spots in some regards, some quirky greens. It's not an easy golf course by any means, but the weather may change that in some regards this week. So let's look at the weather for the Fort Worth area for Colonial Country Club this week. I will pull it up, and it looks like we are getting some thunderstorms, some rain. I am happy I'm not out there this week, because I would have flown to Texas and got nothing for you guys, because it's looking like it's going to be T-storming, raining tomorrow. This is Tuesday. T-storming, raining Wednesday, overnight on Tuesday and Wednesday, and then when we get to tournament week. Very similar to what we saw last week, and then the weather ended up holding up for us. So Thursday looks bleak. Friday, it looks like more rain. Saturday, a little bit of scattered storms. Sunday, some scattered storms. I mean, I'm not a weatherman, but I assume they're going to have to do something. In terms of the wind, it doesn't look like much. It just looks like some rain. Maybe Saturday it gets a little bit gusty, but this is really what I'm looking for. Wednesday, Tuesday, the rain leading into the event may just make this golf course play a little bit longer, play a little bit softer, and it's not quite long enough, like the golf course, just under 7,300 yards, where the rain's going to make it like totally bomber central. But I do think it's really going to make that approach play just really, like the mid iron, the wedge approach play. If you could separate there and hit really solid shots, you are going to have a great week. So I think that distance bias that we talked about with incoming form is going to be real again, especially with the weather, because the rain will soften the golf course, make it play a little bit longer. Combine that with the softer greens, I think it amplifies what we were looking for just a little bit more. So I'm going to be looking for some spike distance coming in and some really, really solid approach play coming in. Before we get to some players, I want to touch on a contest for DFS this week. I know I got some comments saying let's look at some cheaper contests. I don't want to spend $100 every single day. So this is a $12 single entry 35K albatross. 4K up top. It's not easy to win this event. You have to beat 3,400 people, but 10th place pays 400. Nice little 10% of that top number. And I like this contest. I think it's a very fair payout, and it pays out 689 people. So you could basically double your money if you get in the top 689, and that's roughly what, 23%. Let's do 689. 689 divided by 3431. 3431. That is 20%. So it pays at the top 20% of this. There's the song of the day. Pays out the top 20% of this contest, but I think it's a nice way. You're making more than double your money if you happen to place. But I love the way this payout structure is, in my opinion. So if you don't want to enter $100, this $12 single entry could be a nice way to spend some money this week. Let's talk about the DFS board. We'll pull it up. We got Ludvig Åberg, we got Russell Henley, Bob Mack, Wyndham Clark just withdrew at $9,300. So we have a nice little range, nothing crazy top heavy. Everyone seems fairly priced. If you do happen to click Ludvig, you're left with 7,900 at the top, which is nice to see. From Scotty Scheffler, you're left with like 7K at the top. And if we do click Ludvig, I think he is a great place to start. So let's touch on him. He is coming in with some beautiful, some amazing form. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 top 8 finishes in his last 7 starts. Yeah, that is quite something, guys. He got off to a little bit of a slow start at the beginning of the year, withdrew at the Amex after, and then missed the cut at Torrey. Didn't play well at Pebble. T20 at Riviera is when he started to really hit the ball a lot better. I remember he had like a little sickness at this point of the year. I think I remember correctly. And now look what he's doing. Striping it off the tee, hitting his irons as well as he's hitting his irons in a real long time. And he's doing everything good. The only thing that's not great is the putter, but it's not a glaring weakness. We know Ludvig is a streaky putter, and we know that Ludvig can get it going. I will say, Ludvig has never played this event as a professional. We know he went to college at Texas Tech. We know he went to college in this area of the world. I feel like, and I don't know this, but I'm just kind of spitballing. Has Ludvig Åberg played a college event? Is there a Colonial golf course, Colonial Country Club college event? Let's do some research. Colonial Country Club college golf event, because I genuinely don't know. Women's. Let's just look up Ludvig Åberg Texas Tech and see if we have any anything. Let's see if we could find something, because I feel like he's had to play there at one point in his golf career. Let's do some live research. We're going to click on Ludvig. Where is he? This beautiful man. Colonial. Åberg started his sophomore season by finished 10th at the Colonial Collegiate Invitational, where he shot 3 over as a sophomore. So that seems like he has experience. Nothing to write home about. If you know, please just drop a comment. Drop a comment, because I realized he didn't play here as a pro, but I feel like he's played there in college. So Ludvig at what price? 10.5, I think, is a great place to start, and I think he has some nice history in just Texas in general. The golf course should set up perfect for him. He's won at a golf course where you have to hit a ton of wedges. He also won at a golf course where you have to hit a ton of long irons, but I generally like him at like Wedge Fest, and this is the time. I mean, what has he won now? At RSM Classic, and he's won in Crans, Montana on DP World Tour. Those are a ton of wedges. So, and he's played well at Sawgrass, plays well at a ton of golf courses where you have to hit a ton of wedges. That's a long-winded explanation on why I like Ludvig this week. Second golfer I want to look at in the on this DFS board, which I'll bring my screen right back up, is down a little bit. He goes by the name of Chris Kirk, $7,400 Chris Kirk. When Chris Kirk is playing well, he's doing this well. He's getting those approach numbers in the green, and that is exactly what we're seeing here. T31 and T44 in his last 2 starts. Nothing crazy, but this is a golf course he plays damn near every year. Missed his last 3 cuts. Maybe it's going to take some ownership off him, but he is 1 here, finished T5 here, other T20s here, and I just really like the incoming form for Chris Kirk. Chris Kirk is a very accurate driver who gets streaky with the irons. The putter is not doing well right now, but if he's hitting the ball well, he should make the cut, and we know what his ceiling could be. I love it at that price of $7,400. And then the third golfer I want to look at on this DFS board before we look at the betting board is down a little further, I believe. Goes by the name of Thorbjørn Olesen, $7,200. Now, Thorbjørn Olesen is a streaky golfer, likes birdie fest. Not that this is a birdie fest, but he's not doing what we're looking for well. The approach play is not there, which is not going to throw his ownership through a loop. His ownership, he's going to be low owned, but he's generally a really good approach player. Look at all this green compared to red in terms of the strokes gain approach. This is rare. I expect this red approach to turn back in the right direction. Do I need him to gain 5 strokes on approach? No. Can he gain 1 or 2 and succeed for us? 1000%. The rest of his game is in a great spot. Does he have any course history here? Yeah, last time he played here, he gained strokes tee to green, didn't putt great for a T46. I really just expect, more than anything, this approach play to turn in the right direction. So Thorbjørn Olesen at $7,200, I think, is a really, really nice shout here. Let's take a look at the betting board where these numbers are constantly moving as the afternoon goes on. Ludvig 9.5 to 1, 10 to 1. Russ about 20 to 1. Bob Mack, Ricky Fowler, BG, Justin Thomas, Akshay round out that range sub 30 to 1. But a golfer that I wanted to touch on in this range is Justin Thomas, because Justin Thomas is sneakily moving along really, really nicely right now. JT coming off of his last 4 starts, T77, T23, T13, T4, getting really better, getting progressively better. And this dude has now been all green. You guys know, this is what I mean by all green, gaining strokes in every category in his last 2 starts. When is the last time Justin Thomas has parlayed 2 all greens? That was a T9 and a T22 over last summer. I honestly thought it was going to be a lot longer than just last summer, but it hasn't been since then. So JT is clearly in finding his game again, playing really solid, and the putter is there. This is like, he gained 6.9 strokes putting at Aronimink. When's the last time he gained over 6 strokes putting? That has to be a really, really long time. Was it in his win at Harbortown? No, he didn't gain 6 strokes then. Let's just sort by putting. So JT gained 6.9 at Aronimink, gained 6.8 back at Valspar in 2025. So he's flashy with it. He's not going to gain that many strokes putting again, but I just love what he's doing at the ball striking. Just a complete tee to green game. Everything seems comfortable for JT right now, and his price 25 to 1 is not the end of the world. Like we see him win at these numbers before his career. So Justin Thomas is a golfer that I'm definitely going to be touching on in this betting board. As we scroll down a little bit more, someone catches my eye by the name of Ryan Gerard, around 60 to 1. Ryan Gerard is doing what we want to do well. The approach play is there. He's a stern and true, solid driver of the golf ball. The putter is really, really bad, but at a golf course where you don't have to make a ton of putts, these greens are not easy, and I don't really expect Ryan Gerard to have the putting upside to win here, because we've seen you need to spike with the approach, spike with the putter. But in the top 20 markets, in the positional markets, I really love Ryan Gerard, and at 60 to 1, I think you're going to get some nice numbers for Gerard in terms of those markets. So he's a golfer that I'm going to be looking at there. Next thing I want to touch on is some of the tools, some of the Ship It Nation stuff. So let's pull the screen back up, bring the banner back up. Here we go. Use that code BOOTS. And if you want to join us, first of all, I want to shout you guys out at the winner circle. If you win, you have Ship It access for life. You win swag. You can win a watch if you want to win. There's no $1 million winner this week. All you have to do, go here, hit logos, download one of these logos, use it in your DFS for your DFS avatar. You win 1K, you get a month of Ship It, parlay that into another month. You win 10K, you get more stuff plus some swag. 100K, we have a ton of 100K winners like these. It's all here, guys. You guys do it all the time. I don't know if I'll ever get there, but you guys do it all the time. So use that, join the nation, get 10% off with that code BOOTS, plus your first week is free. And look at all this stuff that we have. We have projections, showdown content, the Stone 2.0, which is a really fun tool, slate plan, value report, and a ton more. You guys know the deal. So use code BOOTS. First week is free. And as of now, we will be spending next week in Ohio for the Memorial. So if you want to use that first week of BOOTS, you're going to get the BOOTS content for free if you join now, Wednesday. I'm not sure exactly what day I'll be there. Also, I'm going to have to make sure the weather is okay and the flight doesn't cost $900. So we're 90% going to be at the Memorial at Murrayfield Village to BOOTS that golf course. Big week. And then we're definitely BOOTSing the US Open. So some fun stuff coming in the month of June. Ship It Nation is the only place where you can get the BOOTS content, these tools, all of this fun stuff. So it's been a great year so far, and I know you guys are enjoying it. So let's keep up the great work. Next thing I want to talk about is a chalky golfer. a potentially chalky golfer, a potential pivot, and one golfer that I'm going to be on for the week. So the first golfer that I want to touch on that could potentially be chalky is a guy who he's oozing some strokes gained Texas. He really is. He goes by the name of John Keefer to some. Look at that smile. 25 years old, rookie out of Baylor. Via the Korn Ferry Tour, coming off of a T9 at TPC Craig Ranch, where he gained 6.9 strokes on approach. I would assume that is his career best approach number. That is his career best approach number. A nice little week of almost 10 strokes ball striking at the Byron Nelson. And this was a very highly touted golfer coming off of the Korn Ferry Tour, just stern ball striking, not the longest golfer in the world, but plus distance, really high ball striking ceiling. So everyone knows this. Everyone knows that he has that Texas connection, went to Baylor from San Antonio. So people are going to be on Keefer in terms of DFS ownership. I think his ownership is going to be far too high in terms of where he is price-wise. Here we go. I will definitely look into that. So thank you very much, Seats 501. It's Rickenbacker. Thank you. Good to know. Good to know. So Johnny Keefer, I just do think is going to be chalky for his price, and I do not want to play a chalky Keefer. You guys saw what happened when he was chalky at what event was that? The one that JJ Spawn won, the Valero Texas Open. Johnny Keefer was mega chalk, and he did not pan out there at all. So let's avoid it this week. I do not think he's going to come through. Next thing I want to touch on is a potential pivot, and I'll repeat myself again because 2 weeks ago, U.S. Open, I said that the chalky golfer that I wasn't going to be on was Alex Fitz, and the pivot that I was going to be on was Jon Rahm. I was not saying Jon Rahm is a pivot off of Alex Fitz. I'm saying Alex Fitz is going to be chalky down in his range. Jon Rahm is going to be a pivot up in his range. So this is the same idea. This next golfer, I think, is going to be a pivot at the top of the board, and he goes by the name of Robert MacIntyre, 29-year-old from Oban, Scotland. Not doing the key stat well, and that is the approach. He has lost strokes on approach in 4 straight starts, and he did that again in March. He did that from January to March, but then he bounced back with a solo 4th at Sawgrass, a runner-up at TPC San Antonio. So he's back in Texas. I think he can bounce back. He's priced high. He's a 9K golfer. He's a really good golfer in this field. He knows how to bounce back. So I'm not worried about the approach play. I think people are going to see the stats and be like, nah, I'm off Bob Mack. I want to go to Ludvig. I want to go to Russ Henley. I'm off. I want to go to JT. I'm not playing Bob Mack. So I think at his price, his ownership is going to be not enough. So I think it's a great week to get on Bob Mack at low ownership. We know what his ceiling could be. We're coming around to National Open time, which is when Bob Mack flirts with success. So I think we got to get ahead of Bob Mack. I think good things are coming from Bob Mack. So let's play him. Next thing I want to do is touch on the model. I have to pull the model up actually because I don't have it pulled up. The model for the week here we go. You guys know I run a ton of models. I ran 4 models times 3 round ranges. We got accuracy and approach. We got distance plus wedges, approach plus putting plus course history, approach plus strokes gained total. I like to find every single way you can conquer this golf course and aggregate it into one model. We got Ludvig coming in on top, Russ Henley coming in second, tied for third, Zach Blair, Christian Bezadenhout, tied for fifth, Akshay Bhatia, Johnny Keefer, and J.J. Spawn. The model had a slow 3 weeks. I will always show you the model results. I track all my model results. So this is every time the model prints out a winner. We went on a 3-week run with the model printing out the winner. Then we're on a 3-week no run with no model picking the winner. Hopefully we could bounce back here. Hopefully the winner is in that model. So you guys just saw what it was, but I'll pull it up again for you really quick to show you who did in fact model that well for me. I have it on Twitter right here. It is Ludvig, Russ, Seabez, Zach Blair, Johnny Keefer, JJ Spawn, and Akshay Bhatia are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 names that modeled for me. I like to keep the model short and concise and try to get a winner in that block. So this leads me to the one golfer that I am on. The one golfer that I'm going to be on for the week is Andrew Novak. Sadly chopped the flow, but he's still looking great as always does. But look what Andrew Novak is doing right now. coming off of 2 solid finishes, T26 at a major, T24 at Quail Hollow. I mean, these are not easy golf courses at all. Striping it, tee to greening it. If he could just find a little bit on the greens, we can be in business. And we know Andrew Novak is a streaky putter. He's not going to go around and say he's the greatest putter in the world, but he has weeks where he can gain 3 to 5 strokes putting. And looking at his Charles Schwab course history, finished T11 here last year. This is a golf course that I think makes sense for him on paper. Not the longest golf course in the world, and he's gained strokes putting twice here. Does he have that +6 putting in him here? I'm not sure, but what he's doing in tee to green is exactly what we were looking for. He's a very streaky golfer in terms of the ball striking, and when he gets going, he parlays some nice weeks in a row. So Andrew Novak this week, I think, is a really nice play at $7,500 in where is he in the betting market? He is, let's see, he is 72 to 1, kind of a disrespectful number. I like it a lot. I think you can get a nice top 10 on him, top 20 on him, play him in terms of DFS. Wherever you want to play Andrew Novak, he's going to be the one golfer that I am on for the week. As always, the song of the day for the show is going to be A Grave Mistake by Ice Nine Kills. This song is about the movie The Crow. I've never seen The Crow, but if you've seen The Crow, let me know if it's good. Drop a comment. As always, I'll see you guys Thursday for some showdown content. I might be driving to like Ohio. If the flight prices are crazy, I'm gonna have to drive from Florida to Ohio, but I do it for the love of the game. And there's a chance I have to do the showdown show from a dingy hotel or from like pulled over on my phone. But I am gonna bring the content to you guys as hard as no matter what. I'm gonna bring the content to you guys. I appreciate you guys working with me, and I'm looking forward to the rest of this year. As always, let's ship it. Catch you guys soon.